No, hechi nopo, hepo he, kapo tatsu tatsu to here hene to piroi tagi tu, pagarongo, wahangu, tamaichi hianga, tamaichi hatsu e te iwi, e te motsu, no mai pirita tamai ki tēnei o ngā punaha e tai ai te kawai ai tō tātare o rangatira, tira ai tō tātare o Māori, rangipo kia tēnei, tētihi o ngā kaiwhakahaere o te Rangatahi Takeover Podcast, 92.4, 99.6, engāre o aratuku o tātou o ngā iwi FM. Well, e te iwi. Kia kouta e whakarongo mai ana, ai ka tika, ko au me taku ko tahi ana ke mura i te ahihi tēnei o ngā rangi paruhiruhi rawa atu ke roto i a tātou torohinga o Parihauraki. Heoi anō, ko te mea ke, kei uruhuru o tonu i tēnei o ngā hoa, hōtaka miharo rawa ata, hōtaka mō tātou o ngai rangatahi. So let's get straight into it. It's the first time I've actually done a solo in any show since my Mana Monday show, so I'm a bit freaking out a little bit. Heoi anō. Ka pūtaru haka hao tarangatau. Ko ta whakatau ki o tarangi toi tū te whenua whatu ngaro te tangata. Ka pai? Now, this kōrero entails the land remains while man is lost from sight. And e he tika te kōrero. Ka oki aku maharahara I tērā wiki te ngaro atu o te tio ngatiro rangatira, te tihi pononga, aroa mawiwi au. Te tihi rangatira, tētahi tangata tohunga ringa manaaki i mate ai, i aitua, i tuki. Kia koe papahaki, Papa Jack, nei i o uri, nei o tamaiti, i o mokapuna, e tukumihi mai oha, kia koe, e hake koe, e ai ki ngā kōrero o te paipai, e hake koe i haere, ki runga i tō haerenga, i tō ara, ki runga i te amaimai, ki runga i te moke, i haere koe, ki runga i te maumaharatu, kua paimata. And it's strange how things work in te ao nei, heoi anō ka tika me mihi anō ki o imatenga. Me te ohorere hoki. Te ohorere hoki te ki te i aua momo awatanga. Mōku ake, we were ripped off. I te iwi, we were ripped off from a valuable, not only a valuable asset within the tohunga manaaki, but a papa of his mokopuna, a papa that would lend a hand within the kitchen no matter where it was. He was quite articulate, And tētihi kōrero e maumahara au. When I was in the kitchen, I am the kingi, the atua of dodging the dishes. When you inoi to not do the dishes, you are inoing to me. Like, heoi anō. I was in the kitchen doing the dishes and Mato Jack. So Mato Jack was watching me and he was talking to me while I was doing the dishes. But then I had finished all the dishes, I left, came back in, and Mato Jack was doing the exact same dishes that I was doing. So, yeah. Mato Jack was quite articulate, and he was quite, not fussy per se, but a perfectionist. So, when it came down to it, if it wasn't Papa Jack's way, it was nobody's way. But yeah, e papahaki, anei i o uri whakaeke tukumihi mai a kia koe anei o tamaiti, nau anō i poipoia, nau anō i manaakiti ai, nau anō i whakatakatoria ngā akoranga kua ako kei a koe, hei painga mo tōku oranga ki roto i te ao tūturu nei me ona toimaha hoki. E papahaki, moi whakaiue. Ka tāhuri atu taku mihi kia koutou te whānau pani. E rere ngā whakaaro. E rere anō ko ngā hupe, ko ngā roimata kua tukuna ke e tātou. Te whānau whānui o pare hauraki ki a koutou. Te whānau whānui o te kāhui maunga. Te whānau whānui o ngā tika hungunu. Te whānau whānui o ona whakapapa. E kore te aroha e mimiti. Taira anō atu ki a koe te makau. Te makau ariki o Papa Jack. E nena nena mātere. Anei o tamaiti o mokapuna e tangi hotu hotu. E haku ana, e aue ana. Ki tēnei tumo māhuatanga. E tika i te kōrero kua ripiripi a kua hai tēnei tangi mo te hemo tonu atu. And I sit and ponder on the thoughts of what could have been. I sit and ponder on the thoughts of what could have been. Heoi anō. I have no regrets, for he lived an amazing life. He lived an honest life. So e papahaki. Oke atu koe ki tuatara I reira ai ka tiki I o tupuna I a koe. Hei hoke atu ki rangi ātea. Me te whakatā I o ringa raupa, me te whakatā I o ringa manaki I tēnei wā tonu. Nā reire e papa hoke atu. But yeah, the biggest thing that probably happened last week was definitely our Papa Jack's tangi. Or was it 2 weeks ago? I didn't come in last week, so it was 2 weeks ago. Last week was quite busy. We had the Hauraki activation happen for our people here in the Māori Hauraki, as well as to be a part of such a kaupapa was amazing. But yeah, e rere ngā whakaaro. So that was me kōrero tahi taua. Normally I'd be talking to someone else, and unfortunately we ain't doing that today. Heoi anō. Ko te mea ke e ora pai ana koutou, kei o koutou kāinga, kei o koutou mahi, ko te mea ke e whakarongo mai ana I runga I te ngākau mahaki me te tāringa are rawa atu. Tēnei au e tukumihi mai oha. So that was me kōrero tahi taua e hikama. Ka tāuri atu ki tēti segment hoi. I just created specifically for our papahaki e ki ana he mai aroha. He mai aroha ka waipuke ana. And to see also the hohonutanga o te tangihanga. So he mai aroha is specifically made and created for Papa Jack. And obviously, you know, we are likely to come out of nowhere. And to also pay mihi to him, we go depth into his tangi. So, but for those of you who may not know, Papa Jack was a great asset, was an inspiration, someone that we aspire to be, and also a loving person. A loving person with who's just a phenomenal guy. But I go back, hohunutanga is the depth of his tangihanga. So honestly, I was so blown away at the multitude of people that had come in support, in mourning, in grief of our papa. One person who was also in grief is from Mātai Whitu himself. He is also e nuri whakaheke o tātou o te pai o Hauraki, and I am now not doing solo anymore. E rere ka tika ko ngā whakaro ki a koe takutua kana nau mai anō rehawa tere.
Mauri o rei, te whanau ngoti rā koutou katoa e ngā uri whakaheke o Rangatahi Takeover podcast. I was just sitting over there and I te moke au e hoa, I te rongo I o kōrero, you know, you sitting here solo, e kōrero e pāna ki ene o ngā kaupapa huhua o pare hauraki, and I thought, I should just jump in there and, you know, jump in on the conversation, because I know that wānanga is going to get really interesting later on in this podcast. So I thought I'd better introduce myself now. Kia ora kia koutou if you don't know me. Reha Wātene, as he said, Mātai Whitu marae only. But, you know, tamatera, Ngāti Whanaunga, all the Ngātis and Hauraki.
Ngāti Hāti. Well, tēnā koe I takutuakana. We just finished the Me Rangatahi Takeover segment, and we're going to He Mamai Aroha, which is a segment that I just created, in the hohunutanga o te tangi. So obviously, me and you were doing the same job, but in your perspective, what did you think? And what were your whakaaro and the people and the multitude of people that were coming in? Honestly, his pai was next level. It's wow.
Awa hei timatanga I ngā kōrero, tautoko I o kōrero I whakawhāriki ia, ki tō tātanei whānau I tēnei wā, ki tō tātanei māraikura, tō tātanei whae, o tira ki te whānau whānui, te whānau waitai, he wā taumaha, mo te whānau, mo te iwi, mo te hapori, mo te rohe katoa pare hauraki. So, you know, first and foremost, you know, love out to all of our whānau, uncle, you know, all the uncles, all the cousins, all the aunties, and everyone behind the scenes who was here to show their love for our beautiful Uncle Jack. As we said in our waita, we composed during the tangihana, he ringa manaki, he ringa raupa, he ringa marae, e rā o ngā rangatira. But for me, it was just amazing to see the amount of whānau who came through, whether it be awhi I roto I te kihini, whether it be dropping off some kai, whether it be haere mai te kawe I te aroha, I ngā roimata, I ngā hupe, ki mua I te aroaro o te whānau o tira ki roto I te poho o te pā hauraki. And yeah, that pai was stacked there. I haven't seen a pie that stacked in years, but it was awesome to see the growth and development of not just our whānau here in Pairo, but all of our whānau across the country, coming together ki te tautoko I te whānau I raro I te taumahatanga. And you know, you and I have been on pai before. It's not the easiest of jobs. You know, it's a draining job. Wairua, tirana, hinengaro. But I think when we put ourselves into that state of frame, in that space, we normally just, you know, ki te kaupapa mahi a te mahi, hei painga mo te iwi, hei painga mo te whānau, and it doesn't really affect you until after the fact, after the kaupapa. When you go home, normally hit you like a ton of bricks.
Kia ora, ka tika me mehi anō ki tērā āhuatanga I te mea. Obviously, te pai o Hauraki has always been, always had dwindling numbers on the pai. And me pono a ka kōrero, tērā pia ka tahi ana ke tūai ia rā, ia kaupapa, ia tangihanga ko matua lantena. Kuia rā te ahi kā o te pai o Hauraki. And I've had the privilege to sit next to him and alongside him to stand up on their marae. And CA, because one of the kuia came and, you know, these people are coming and it's not that you're taking over. So I was like, nah, it's all good. Like, it's all good because mai mahara, he rangatahi tonu wau, and sometimes you need to know your place. It's not a egoistic type of job. It's for your people. Yeah. And if you can't get over that fact, then who are we to stand on the pai? Mokuake. And it was for Papa Jack, and he deserves nothing but the best. The prestigious people that stood up on his pai are people that I agree should have stood on their pai. The likes of Korohere Ngāpo, you had the likes of Papa Apanui,
Uncle Taki,
Papa Taki, you even had Matua Himikaka, you even had every single people from different maraes that had shown up. Koro Victor, you had the likes of them.
Tirohia?
Yes, absolutely, and then you have Nene Margaret you had Ngāti Waihinui came in with Nene Chairs the Kills.
Oh, Sina Iriaka.
Yeah. So to see all of them come over was absolutely humbling. And then Nene Margaret was the one that had approached me, and I said, it's all good for I understand. And then I got us a new job, and I went over with our tuakara over here at the gate, which is actually a pretty cool and mana enhancing job as well, because you're the face, Miki, to first visit and first meet with the people coming onto the haroa. So that was cool.
Now, with that being your first experience doing the gate ehua, for you, what were some of the tikanga you've learned while you were out of the gate doing the gates with me?
Well, it was the when you're ready, you go to the po and turn around and you walk on with the ope. He mea hou tērā ki au, nā te mea, we're always short on numbers.
Yeah,
and that's just about it. Like, our tikanga is still there, but sometimes we ain't able to really delve into that type of tikanga only because we don't have the numbers. And koe rā noiho, sometimes, you know, people are quick to forget the tikanga of our marae, especially if you not really in depth with that kaupapa. But honestly, it was cool. It was amazing. I love that job. Like, it's definitely a job that we should still keep doing. Even another kaupapa would have to be when I tae atu a Papa Jack ki runga I te marae, and it was about 11 o'clock. See, even those, wow, crazy. Te pō, right?
Te pō nui, te pō roa.
Te pō tango. But, more like te pō pango, hey? Nah, but, to see even those tikanga, I've never seen that happen. So, now that I know that it can happen, and what are the procedures between that, it was cool. Which is no karangai at night. We don't do karangai at night. And also, even when the koha gets laid down, you don't do a karanga for that either. I was like, wow.
When? On the first day? Yeah, on the
yeah. So I was shocked. I was surprised. I was like, geez, amazing. But yeah, bro. Like, honestly, to see that, even going over to the hāpaiō, our hāpaiō tukumihi to them because they did not get a break. Even at the last day, they had to wait till everyone had a kaya, and then they set up the table for themselves, which was cool because Papa Jack used to move like that as well. He was always the first one up, the last one down. He was the last one, whatever was left, he'd be eating. Sometimes even for us at Waitapara, he wouldn't even be sleeping with us in the wharenui because he has to get up early, so he goes to the wharemoi.
Yeah.
So we have lost a valuable asset, and we have lost our Papa Jack, and e tangi hotu ana tātou i te rohinga o pare hauraki, but ngā huai putai taua kaupapa was probably the kotahitanga. You had his whānau from Ngāpuhi come down, you had his whānau from Te Kāhui Maunga come up, you had the bloody Ngāti Kahunganu lot that came over, and you just learned these different lives and different perspectives of people talking about Papa Jack. It was like, wow, did not know he was like that. Some people didn't even know that he could play the guitar, that he could sing. So, you know, I had to bring that up on the pōwhaka, the poroporo akina, and it was funny. We loved it.
You nearly got a growling though from Nena Mamba. Pai ana.
Yeah. Nena Mamba was ready to smack me. But as she does, she's maro, that woman. But definitely having to hug her tighter now that Papa Jack's gone, and I pay mihi to that our kuia, our paururuhi, our Nena Mum, and it saddens me to see that she's not alone, but kua ngaro I te haurua o tana katoa. She's lost her other half, and honestly, the talks and the kōreros felt like I was a second child to them, and I'm happy, I'm privileged to have known Papa Jack throughout his years, and man, wow. But for you, my bro, because obviously it's not your first time doing the gate, but how was the tangi to you? Have you ever seen a tangi that big, or, you know, your experiences on the marae is much more vast than mine, so give us an insight on what you thought was amazing and different.
Well, ko roa te wā ko kite au I te marae o te pā hauraki ko whao, I ngā huanga o pare hauraki. It's been a while since I've seen te pā hauraki that full of whānau, all descendants of not just Tamatera, but pare hauraki. But moku ake hoa, you know, ko nui ngā hui, nui ngā wānanga, nui ngā tangihana, ko haere au ki te tautoko, whether it be on the kiti, whether it be on the paipai, whether it be in the kihini. But for me, that tangihana at te pāhauraki was just, I don't know, for me it was a wairua thing. You know, I think it was maybe the circumstances of how we got to that point. You know, still going through that whole process of, you know, mamai, hai, podi, didi, but seeing our whānau come together, you know, aha koa te toko iti, aha koa te toko nui o ngā ope, you know, because I think it was maybe the second day in the morning, you know, chips and drabs of whānau coming through, so it didn't really have to have someone on the gate because there was only maybe 2 or 3 people. But as the day went on, you know, I nui ngā ope, there was over 10 to 20 people in opes. So, you know, whakamau au I tōku pōtai wātene Māori. And, you know, and that's for me, when I go to tangis, for me, it's a lot of learning.
Yeah.
And a lot of just sitting, whakarongo. Not much talking other than the back area underneath the tree. If you know, you know, fun. If you don't know, when you get older, you'll know where that area is. But, you know, for me, anytime it comes to a tangihana hui, wānanga, there's always 3 parts I like to have a look and have a, you know, if they need awhi, kihini, always covered. Don't have to worry about kihini. Then I always go check pipe, see if they need awhi on pipe. If they don't need awhi, go straight to the gate. You know, as they say, ko te reo tuatahi o te marae, ka rangona e koe ko te reo o te wahine e karangana, e kao. Ko te reo tuatahi ka rangona e koe ko te reo o te wātene Māori ka tūki te kēti, e whakatakato ana i ngā neki hanga, o tira, i ngā health and safety, bit of the protocol of what's going to happen within the ball footy, within the whakatau settings. And for me, I've learned to start doing it at more tangihana for whānau that I know that aren't really into te ao Māori. For me, it makes them feel comfortable and less nervous standing at the gate, because, you know, we all know the feeling when we stand at the gate at a marae. Oh, who's going to do our kōrero? Jack. Oh, who's going to do our karanga? Who's going to, you know, all that stuff. So my job is to ease the burden on all that. Got a kai kōrero for today? That's 3 days. Got a kai karanga for today? That's 3 days. It's going to be easy and quick. You know, and it's just making it light and making it understandable for our whānau that aren't immersed in te ao Māori. You know, when we rock up to a marae, what we know, number ones, we know if you're there, oh, well, I'm going to chuck you the kōrero, got the kōrero. But for our whānau out there that aren't immersed in all this, I like to just make it more easy and makes them feel at home, because they're coming home. They're coming home back to their papa neke, back to their marae, to pay their love, their respect, to whoever's in the wharenui at that time and at that moment. For me, my job is the easiest job. You know, the job that's the hardest is the one in the bye-bye. You know, kei koe ngā kōrero whakapapa, kei koe ngā kōrero hononga, tikanga, kawa, o tira ngā pūrākau e hāngai puana ki tērā o ngā tangata. So you got to lay that all down in the matter of 3 to 4 minutes. I get all the time I want outside at the gate. You know, and as you mentioned, it's a good communication tool for our pipe-by. You know, I've got hand signals that I've created for my mum, for te mātai whitu. So if I put up 1 finger, they've got a kai kōrero. 2 fingers means they've got a kai karanga as well. 3 is the waiwai tapu. 4 is they've got kawe mate. I did have a 5th one, but I think that's if they're kingitanga or affiliate to kingitanga. Can't remember it, but that's all I do at the gate. I just do my hand signals to our kai karanga, and then they get to go into the wharenui, let our pipe-by know, oh, they got no kai kōrero, oh, they got no kai karanga, and it makes their job easier too, so then they can organise themselves of, they only got 1 kai kōrero, and then they can go, oh, well, they want mau te kara, you know, mau ngā kōrero, you know, they only got 1 speaker, so all good. And it's just helping that process out, speeding that along, but without speeding anyone along. But it's just like everyone's on the same level, on the same kaupapa. So when they go through that process, everyone's just kicked back. And then I can go back to that tree at the back of the wharekai for the next, until the next opi.
To the next hour.
He paku, that's an insight look into what is the role of ngā mahi i te kēti. But it's a good indication, you know, when you have like a kura coming along, you know, it's a good way to keep a lookout. Oh, kei konei te pahi, oh, kei konei te kura. Is there anyone in the wharenui, all that stuff. Just communication, ingoa.
Hard. And I actually love that, mate. It's a great mate. And I definitely think, because obviously in the marae, you go from ranks, mekina.
Start from the toilets. And then where did you start from?
The kitchen.
I've never seen you in the toilet.
Oh.
Teddy, is he right? Kitchen?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm going to be honest.
Straight to the pie?
I went straight to the pie. I've
never seen you in their toilets. I've been in there. Never seen you in the rubbish. Never seen you.
Humble beginnings. Well, okay.
Quietly in the background doing the work.
Well, funny because I was the king of dodging dishes, but what I used to do is I actually used to go into the marae and as they all say, you sit at the feet of your kuia, which is true, and I was quite intrigued because I never knew what they were saying, but I always wondered, like, man, what are you on about? And my first ever tau parapara that I used was whakarongo ki te tui e tui ana, tui a runga, tui a raro, tui a roto, tui a woho karongo te pōkarongo te ao. And it was Papa Victor.
Yeah.
Papa Victor was one of the first speakers I've ever heard say that. Him and I think it was Matsuhamu. And was o ngā Toi Toi Marae. So, I don't know. I think there are certain people who go through the ranks, but I guess, you know, if there are no people on the paipai, mā waira e taurima. Like, that's all. That's all there is to it. And no, but my family, they are tohunga manaaki. They are they ruku kaimana, and they also have the same philosophy. If you can pick up a titao, then you are rangatira in their eyes. And believe me, I pick up a lot of titaos, but
well, if you can pick up a titao, you can dry the dish as well.
Yeah. Well, apparently, people don't like me drying dishes because apparently I suck.
You leave it wet, you don't even dry it.
Nah, I do the magic cup. Actually, I do the.
See what you're doing last week at the marae, eh?
Yeah, heck yeah. Oh man, you know how much dishes we're coming in and out by? You have got.
You got a dishwasher, we don't.
What the heck's a dishwasher?
That dishwasher thing, yeah.
Oh no,
some of our marae don't have that anymore. We got left hand, right hand.
Oh, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Jeez, it's not my problem. If Te Paia Hauraki is a bit bad and bougie sometimes.
Oh, aroha mai.
Oh, paiata. But yeah, so yeah, there are some ranks, but this is rangi whakamaumahara i a koe papahaki. Yeah, your mokopuna will miss you, we will miss you, your kura will miss you, everyone will miss you in Te Rohinga o Pare Hauraki, but I know that you did not go, not so much unbothered, but I know you went with a light heart, and kore toi maha ki runga i o Pukahiwi. Although you left so suddenly, you will not be forgotten. So, ka tahuri atu tātou ki he kaupapa anō, e mea ana he mau Māori mā. Nā reira, we touched a bit on it, but we're talking about the activation that had happened last week, Thursday, on the 30th of May.
Oof, you ever remember the date?
Oh,
that important, eh?
I had to relook at it. But the 30th of May, there was a karanga called out to, not just us in Pare Hauraki, but to the world, to Aotearoa, to start an activation, to start the beginning of a war, of a...
I wouldn't call it a war.
No, aroama, not a war.
Hey.
Not a war, of a new beginning.
Yeah.
Of a new beginning. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of it in the activation here in the Māori Pare Hauraki. We started in Paeroa. We started Paeroa around 8 o'clock. Well, 8, because actually, technically...
10 past 8.
It was 8:30 actually, but 7:45. So 7:45 we said everyone went up at 7:45. Everyone showed up at 8:30. So you know,
we gotta remember Māoris, eh?
Wā Māori tēnei wā tonu.
We still protest.
Oh yeah, we still protest, but oh come on, Barney, we have to be on time for the protest. You've got to be kidding me. But
late to our own protest.
Yeah, I know. Anyways. That's not important, but yes, so we're at the roundabout. I was lucky enough to be not a kai whakahaere, but I was alongside...
He kai manaki?
Yeah, kai manaki te kai whakahaere, which was Auntie Hinemoana Kolia, Nani Stacey, Te Moana News Girl, you do the whakapapa. But
Taharua, right?
Yeah, yep, Ngāti Taharua. And yeah, so we, Auntie Hinemoana had called me up, I think a night or 2 nights before, to ask if I wanted to join the fight, the protest. And I, of course, you know, I love a good protest. I love our people. We are a magical people. So we started here in Paeroa, alongside with her babies, Maui, Kiwa, and Rehua. Maui wanted to go to school. Kiwa was just happy. She was just, you know, hanging around, and Rehua was just starting to get up. But once we got there, our Pairo Central kiddies came along, our uncles came along. It's crack up too, because a lot of our whānau have to take their kids to Pairo College. So as we were standing there, and once the kura traffic came in, all you see was our aunties and uncles. There was this one auntie that I saw, and she was looking at me, and she was like, huh? And I was like, babe. And she was like, she texted me, and she was like, Morena, aroha mai, I couldn't beat my horn's pakaru. I was like, oh.
He Māori.
Yeah, he Māori tonu. And one of my other uncles, they saw us, and they went around the roundabout.
Could have gave us the mana wave.
Yeah, I know. They did. Everyone gave us the mana wave, the beats. It was mean, honestly. And if you go onto Ngā Iwi FM's website, you can see Garth Waitine's one of Garth Waitine, and they're just amazing. He just so well done. Tuku mihi mai haki a koe. But the big activation per se was at Thames at Wikitoria Park, which is actually a park, a uru park for our tupuna that someone put a park on.
What's the name to it? Let me find it.
Is it Tara Koingaiti?
Owa.
Tara Koingaiti?
All I know it's in Thames.
Oh, come on.
I don't even got the pānui e wharoha mai.
Pretty sure it's Te Tara Koingaiti. But, yeah, and then out of nowhere, our tuakana reha comes up to us in Pairo and it's like, oh, broke into an interview? I was like, oh, of course I'm still doing interviews. I'm not even at work. Anyways, but it was funny. And I seen Auntie Henemana gave you a hongi.
I know, well, because she didn't know what I was doing. She thought I went to go reach out to give her a hongi, but I was just acknowledging the road. I was pointing at the road, but you know, as Māori's got to have a hongi, but not in the middle of an interview, but mihi ana. And I just want to mihi out to everyone that drove past here in Pairo around the roundabout. You know, I've never heard so many horn toots. I've never seen so many mana waves out of a car. E hoa ma, if you were part of that on Thursday, make sure you were driving slow way, because some of these were a bit reckless driving.
Hey, let's not talk about the driving in Pairo.
Kia haumaru te haere, you know I'm big on health and safety out there, whānau. I was waiting for something to happen on that road, but lucky nothing did. And the energy, the vibe, the wairua here in Pairo among our tamariki o Pairo Central, our whānau that just came for a hikoi down the road, and it was awesome. You know, all four corners of that roundabout were covered with our whānau and mihi ana. And I know across Parehauraki from Te Aroha to Waihi, Ngātea, Kaiawa, here in Pairo, Coromandel, Whitianga, Manaia, all across Parehauraki we had these activations going off, all building up, all leading to the big hikoi in terms of e hoa, I nui, I tai te tini, I tai te mana o ngā huanga o Parehauraki. I love what you said, e hoa. Tautoko i ngā koro o the Von whānau, there was so much of us there. I gotta stop saying this, but we need to have AGMs when we all come together, because I've never seen all of you at an AGM before. I've been to like 5 and ko ai koutou. So next time we have an AGM, can we have the same presence as a hikoi? We might have a hikoi after the AGM to the KFC or something. I don't know.
But yeah, actually, so obviously from one of, not the Kai Whakahaere, I would say, but Surrey, because so they have been having all these big ass hui for the kaitiaki, the Kai Whakahaere, kei ia rohe, kei ia wahi o Pairo, or Parehauraki nei. And it's crack up, because once we came up to it, it's like, can I please have all the kaitiaki marshals, I just go there because my auntie Henemana is over there. Next minute, so who's going to be a marshal? Next minute, auntie looks at me, she was like, I was like, oh yeah.
Auntie Henemana?
Yeah, she was like, do you want to do it? I was like, oh, I don't mind. And then apparently I'm a marshal too. Didn't even go to the big ass who's they were starting from 1 to 12. Oh, jeez. I started cracking up though, but obviously we love the Kai Whakahaere was Vaitipuna. And honestly, what a ngākau mahaki she has. And she was talking about the Manaia one. She was like, she was telling her kids, she was like, yeah, because I was telling them, I was telling them, ki kairaro mātou i tarangi māri ne, ko te atua korongo matāne i tēnei o ngāta.
So there's a sahara tū matauenga.
Yeah, mea rawa ke She was like, oh yes, that's definitely you, Vaitipuna. I was like, yeah, who am I? What a hypocrite. And I took a mihi mai oha, I take my head off to Vaitipuna, because honestly, she's always doing so much mahi. I also took a mihi to Matotaki, to all our rangatira out there, they had arrived. We are all rangatira in our own right. So to all of us, ngā mihi mai oha. But the activation, wow.
It was a funny story behind all that. I got home on Monday, I kite au I te group chat I hanga ai te au Vaitipuna. Me ngā whakaraupapatanga of, you know, what we're going to be doing this week. And I was like, oh, what a big kaupapa to be, you know, conducted in 3 or 4 days. And yeah, mihi ana ki a rātou I hui a Zoom nei, ia te pō, 6 o'clock. I got those emails, but I never joined. I was Māwiwi though, had an excuse. Māwiwi can't do anything.
It was on Zoe.
Yeah, but you know, I don't want to look at people while I'm sick. But you know, I know that they did a lot of planning, and you know, even after their Zoom calls, I'll get a phone call, jump on the phone call. But mihi ana, my job was just to create posters, make it look nice. That's all like not really a hikoi type of person. You know, I'm that last minute person who I went to the $2 shop the day before. I tried to find me some Māori flags. I found me a Tongan flag. I was flying my Tongan flag on Wednesday on the coast.
Oh,
and then Jackie found a proper Māori Tino Rangatiratanga flag. Didn't even use it during the hikoi. But you know, all in all, it was a good kaupapa. And I'm just proud of everyone that was involved. You know, 3 or 4 days of prep, hui organising, not just themselves, but their tamariki, also trying to get time off mahi to be part of it. You know, all those little things that lead up to be a big, successful hikoi activation was awesome. Seeing all of our kura come together in support of this kaupapa. For me personally, I was hoping to see a bit more of our organisations there, but I know, you know, I raro I ngā taumahatanga o tēnei o ngā kawanatanga, you know, it wouldn't be right for them to be there and that. But for me, I'm that person, you know, who cares about this, who cares about that, what about us as a people, what about us as tangata whenua, you know, you might be doing mahi with, you know, that group over there, might be doing mahi with that group over there, but at the end of the day, they're not your whānau. Anei tō whānau. So I was a bit upset with that. But all in all, beautiful day, beautiful vibes. Ki te atu I ngā tamariki, ki ngā kaumātua, I hikoi ana I ngā huarahi o te kauairanga. And it was awesome. I'm still getting used to saying te kauairanga, not te kauairanga. Typical bloody Māoris. But yeah, all in all, it was an awesome activation.
It was. I look back to when we first got there. It was like literally just me for Auntie Hine.
Oh no, I saw your story.
Yeah. The tamariki and me arawa ake ka pita mai e nei kai hautu mai tēnei taha tērā taha runga raro. And then we had our whānau from mai te tini me te mano. Crack up too, because you're right. I think we should have AGM because I've seen some faces that I haven't seen in years. And it was cracked up, because I was fortunate enough to actually have a say with our rangatira. So there was Whaihere Aroha, there was Motuataki, there was Tūrei, Matapanui, and Matua Mahara. And it was cool because they had given me an opportunity to speak for us at Rangatahi.
Now, did you know that was going to happen before the hikoi, or was it when you got to Scott's office?
You know, wow, Māori, it was
Māori time.
Māori, wow. It was just wow. I was like...
Because you're a pai kid.
Oh, honestly, I don't know what it was, but I was just like, how could you do this to me? But
it was a beautiful kōrero, though.
I sure hope so.
I felt it.
Yeah, I was really nitty I was really nitty once we got that microphone. I was like, you know what, I'm really angry. But I go back to what I was saying, and tupuna led tamariki driven mokapuna decisions whānau. And our Rangatahi had a voice, which I was pretty harikoa about. And it was crack up because while I was speaking, I was getting freaked out, and there was a lot of people like, is that the VOD? Is that the VOD? I was like, oh jeez, who are these people talking about? Then I turned around and told my cousins that I haven't seen in years. I was like, wow, where were you?
I saw a couple of my kapahaka students from Thames High School popped out. They didn't even know what was happening. I haven't been to school in a while, so I haven't told them what was happening, but they really enjoyed the atmosphere.
Well done, yeah. I seen a lot of tamariki. I even seen kura aho matua, ngā kura katoa. I was so blown away, even with the likes of Te Waihiriwata, who has just created a Māori department within HPC. Atugumi he mai oha ki aia. Paro Central, a lot of Paro Central tamariki came over. Did I see a lot of Paro? I've seen a couple of Paro College lot.
Yeah, I did too.
They better come. But yeah, wow, what an activation.
It was a beautiful kaupapa led by our beautiful whānau across the motu.
Yeah.
You know, not just here in Hauraki, you know, even all the way down to te whare pāremata, I taia tu te tini, I taia tu te mano, I mua I te aroaro, te kāwanatanga. And what an important day.
Absolutely.
It was budget day too, you know. One thing about Māoris, we're all about budgeting because, you know, here in Hauraki, we run our festival on an oily rag. So we used to a budget. So, you know, the Thursday was a full-on day with the budget coming out at 2 o'clock. Us ngai Māoris out on the streets of Aotearoa making a ruckus, making a sound heard, and it was just a beautiful kaupapa. But you know, all in all, yes, the hikoi was awesome. But as we've been talking about for the last couple of days on the Parakuhi show, you know, we've had our voices heard, but will that affect anything when it comes to government or tira? You know, all those policies we were hikoing about. I can't remember it. I know it's Oranga Tamariki, but there's a specific name, 7AA or something like that. I was listening to Auntie Mamai's podcast over on Tainui Live, and she was talking around the 7AA, the removal of our tamariki mai o rātou no kāinga, without authority. O tira, all these other hoo-ha things in there, pūha and there, kete kia nei te removing of the Māori wards. Whānau, hauraki, we've only just celebrated getting the Māori wards into our kaunga headers, our offices around Pare Hauraki. Let us enjoy at least one term with Māori wards, eh? After that,
yeah, and then when I was thinking about Vaite Puna, and she was talking about they've only been in Parliament for March, April, May.
Not long, he wants 7 to 8 months.
5 months. Yeah, 7 to 8 months.
Yeah.
7 to 8 months, and this is what they've done throughout that 7 to 8 months. They have 2 years. They have 2 years within the government. And honestly, kei tino wirewiri ana, tino mataku ana I te anamata o tātou. O tātou te iwi Māori, engari, tino mōhio pai au. E kore mātou, e ki ana, ko toa koutou. Kānui tērā. No, we will fight till the very bitter end.
One thing I know about ngai Māori e hoa, you know, there's a saying within te iwi Māori, kā mate kai ngā tai, kā ora kai ngā rua. They say, you know, even if, you know, things don't go in our favour, don't go our way, we don't get our funding whatsoever e hoa, we're good at Māori ingenuity, eh?
Yeah,
we love a hangi sale.
Yeah.
We love a sausage sizzle sale on the street for $2.50 and you get a drink with it. You know, one thing about Māori is we all come together I raro I te kaupapa, te kotahitanga, anakitanga, whanaungatanga, and we get things done.
Kia ora. And it actually takes me to our very last segment of the day, real and raw, the rangatahi perspective and the effects that the kāwanatanga will have. Now, as a rangatahi, kia tātou e te rangatahi, it is very fortunate enough for us in this generation to be able to have systems in place, to be able to have things in place in order for us to speak. But unfortunately, sometimes our words, our prayers fall on deaf ears. So within a rangatahi perspective, I watched, I'm not too sure who posted it, but it was one of our Pasifika whanaunga, and they were talking about, and it was a really good way to sum it all up, and it was to, we're fighting to be on the table when we own the table, and that's what he was talking about. And I
did see that.
Yes, and I was talking, and he was Pasifika, and he was also talking about if they can do this to our Māori brothers and sisters, imagine what they can do to other minorities.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, I was like, you're right, because what are we going to do? What are we going to do once this is all gone? Even for us, if I can talk on it, te reo irirangi, o tātou te reo irirangi, mō te iwi, te take, mō tō tātou mita te take, mō te reo Māori te take. Mai kore ake tēnei pūnaha, mai kore ake tēnei rautaki a o tātou tupuna, ka pēhia tātou te rangona I tō tātou reo ki runga ngā arautuku. And honestly, I am really not so much scared, but I'm worried for those who come in next. For us who will be coming and stepping into those roles of the rangatira and trying to manaki, it's like trying to manaki a flower within an environment that it's unable to grow. So, ka pēwhia tātou, te poipoi ai tō tātou puti kia puhawai ai tū Māori ai. Me he mea kore anō he raumi, he utauta mo tēnei puti kia puhawai ai. So how are we meant to grow our puti in the desert when it needs water? Like, what are we going to do? It's honestly crazy.
You're going to grow a cactus.
Yeah, kia ora. We have to be, like you said, use our Māori ingenuity, and the effects that it will put onto us as rangatahi will not only, because our mātua just think that it's only going to affect them in their budgeting, but don't forget the bigger picture is us, and once we're in the picture, what will happen to us? That's my question. So it's like, well, and here how o whakaaro, bro, because obviously I'm coming from a rangatahi perspective, from just me personally, but here how o whakaaro.
Tautoko o nei kōrero ko horapa nei hei wānanga he kai ma te whānau. For me e hoa, I think we just need to carry on being what we've been doing. You know, and that's promoting te reo Māori. Promoting the benefits of our language, the beauty of our language, but not just our language, our culture. You know, there's one thing I've been learning so far, for someone that wants to immerse themselves i roto i te ao Māori, best place to learn is ngā mahi waiata, ngā mahi kapahaka. Ki reira, ka tūwhira ngā tatau o te ao Māori ki a koe, whether it be te mahi tuhi, te mahi titonga waiata, te mahi tāpikitia, te mahi whakairo, te mahi whai kōrero, karanga, pāo, whatever it is in te ao Māori, it all comes back to something, and that is through our waiata and through kapahaka. But you know, tautoko o kōrero e moke, kanoho nei au moke, mō tātou nei rangatahi e haere mai nei, te haere mai nei, I roto i tēnei ao huri, tēnei ao hōhā. But you know what, just like our tupuna hua, they got through it.
Yep.
You know, anei ngā hua o rātou mai e noho nei, but it's just up to us to, you know, keep positive. You know, keep on that positive train. Aha kua taitimu, aha kua taipari, mi tēnei o ngā kāwanatanga, we just need to keep focus on our kaupapa, we need to keep focus on our people, and we need to keep focus on our growth, our development. As ngai Māori, not just in Hauraki, but across the motu. And I think if we can, you know, remove the kōrero of treaty, remove the kōrero of, you know, I own this, we own that, we have rights to this, we have rights to that, and just come under the banner of Māori, you know, yes, I might be from Hauraki, yes, we might have raru o tauranga, yes, we might want to claim a bit of the land over there, but if you remove all that stuff, at the end of the day, we're Māori, they're Māori, the land's Māori, so it belongs to all of us. But yeah, we need, as for Pākehā, you got to put it on the paper. You know, kea wai te mana o te whenua, but we all know it belongs to all of us. But it's, you know, having that understanding and keeping it positive and keeping the conversations light. Especially with our rangatahi, don't go too hohonu with our rangatahi. Keep it light, keep it engaging, keep it informative. And I think that's one big thing we always mess up, i roto i te iwi Māori, is we take one piece of information and we run with it, and that is our gospel. But e te whānau, me āta wānanga i te wānanga, me āta breakdown i ngā kōrero ka puta mai i te pāremata. I'm always that person, read between the lines, whānau. It's always lying in between the lines. But I think as ngai Māori, the future is bright e hoa. We just got to think positive, we got to be positive and do positive.
I totally agree, and obviously I like to learn from different other perspectives, because we did have some tangata tiriti i tai atu ki aua kaupapa.
I know I ran into one at the bakery.
Yeah, and ka tuku me mihi anō kia koutou ngā tangata tiriti, ngā tangata Pākehā, for there is brown privilege and there is white privilege, me kira, and ko te white privilege tēnā we need as much of it as we can to find leverage for us, so we can use our Māori privilege to create an excellence that will be good for both sides. And I personally agree. For this new kāwanatanga, one thing that they're really good at is unifying us as one. One thing I must say is unifying us as one. So I pay mihi te tatani whau pokotoru. Pai mihi atu kia koutou, mai kore ake koutou, ka kore pia tātou e kotahi ana. I look towards our whānau, our tini whanaunga kei Ngāpuhi, o hiki mai rātou ki roto i ngā mahi o te kingitanga, e ake te mea nei e raro rātou te marumaru, but they have now come back, and even for us as Hauraki, we have created a lot of steps, such as Hauraki ko whaorau, kua tutuki i te hanga o tainui waka, and obviously we will not go unnoticed. We will not sit idly by, and us as rangatahi, one thing that we go through is a stage of defiance, and we will keep fighting until the very end. E hikama.
There was I sort of, you know, before we wrap up our kōrero, i au e ui ana i te whanaunga, what's his name, Reriahu, ko tōku pātai ki aia, as tangata whenua, iaha tētahi kōrero, aki kōrero, hei awhi, I o tātai nei huanga o te tangata tiriti. Ko tōna nei kōrero, whai hoa Māori. Yeah. And then my kōrero e hoa mā, how do we find a balance between tangata whenua and tangata tiriti? Reriahu was, find a Māori friend. My one is, find you the Pākehā's person you can find in hoa. Moku ake, I like a bit of taupatu. I like a bit of debate on culture. I like a debate on whenua, on skin colour. You know me, wow, you want to go? Let's go. So find you one of those friends, and then you never know. You might find the person that really don't like Māori so much, but you'll be able to turn them around.
I feel like it's not so much that racism, moku ake. You're not brought up. You're not born in. You're like I'm a racist. It's taught. And one thing that I quite like is this kōrero that I was having with our kaiako, and she says we're watching this kiriata, and I think it's te pōhehe o te tangata ki te tangata, and it's just racism is not something you're born with. It's something that you're taught. And it's also not out of hate. I feel like it's out of the unknown. They don't know anything about our culture, so they're targeted. So I look at te ramia i te whakatōhia e uru atu ki te parimata hei tukumihi mai o hake rā uri waititi me te parimata kia hoki mai ai i ngā āhuatanga o mō te whakatōhia. And Kai Houtu Maxwell had stood up and tried doing a karakia, and the speaker of the whare, she said no waiata to be done, but I think it was the unknown. She didn't know that that was going into a he mea akoranga. So for us as Tiwi Māori, I feel as though we shouldn't take things so harsh, but learn from them and teach. If we teach, then we'll be able to understand not only our tangata tiriti better, but they will get to understand us better.
Well, it's never a failure, eh? It's always a learning curve. It's always an opportunity to develop and grow. Some of us, like me ponoa hauewa, I can be a bit racist there sometimes, but moku ake comes from a place of love, but also a place of mamai too for our whānau. But I'm good at wrapping that all around with a bit of kata at the end. So kimi hoa, kia pēra.
Yeah, kia ora. He kōrero whakamutunga tai, hei whakakapinga atu I tō tātou kaupapa.
Okay, all I want to say is make sure you get yourself, with cameras on, Huama, get yourself a copy.
I hope they're sponsoring us.
They're not sponsoring us, Itafano. I just want to give a big mihi to Cora Mine for bringing in a lot of local content for us to have a look through that's happening around the Coromandel Peninsula. Only reason why I'm bringing them up is because I want to show one page. Where's that one page? I should have had this organised, whānau, Rule 1 in radio, make sure you're prepped.
Yeah, kia ora.
Hold up.
While we're waiting for our tuakana, I like to mihi mai o hake a koutou. I must say, this is probably one of the longest, I feel, as those segments. And it is a kōrero that needs to be said in. One thing that the radio are really good at is talking a lot. It's our specialty.
Hold up, it's in the other book.
And we're still waiting for our tuakana, and it's all good. It really is all good. We love a good banter, and as my tuakana is still skipping through pages, I am still shocked that he still hasn't found the page.
Okay, found it.
We found
so
it.
When you get yourself one of these Cora Mine booklets, you can head to page, must be 21, and wapau ngā iwi whenutini. That's all I wanted to show.
Well, okay, anyway, Cora Mine, please sponsor us, and sponsor the Rangatahi Takeover podcast.
Well, they already got their own podcast, but mihi ana kia koutou katoa. Thank you for having me again on your podcast. Tere! You better be here next week too. You got 2 more episodes there.
2 more episodes at TV, and season 1 is done.
Woohoo!
Season 1 is done. Hioi anō, me nui tātou. Hikitia, toronga mai whiti o tēnei wānanga o tēnei huihuinga, tukakia ia, tukakia oi, ko tarangi e tūnei, ko papatu anu koe takato nei. Turu o whiti whakamaua kia tina, home e hui e, tai ki e. Mauri o re te iwi, ka ki te anō.
Ka ki te.
Wow. Jeez. Does she know how to turn it off? Are we off? Do you know how to turn it off? Don't mind us.